And this is one of my favorite interview because we're talking about design. And I have the pleasure to have here Diederik Schneemann, and that is connected with us directly from Amsterdam or Rotterdam?
Rotterdam, actually.
Okay, Rotterdam. And as I said to him a few minutes ago, we are really linked to your country because I think you have such an incredible boost in design and creativity. And nowadays you can display all your best virtues during PAM in Amsterdam.
Yeah, amongst other things. And we have some pieces just came back from PAT London as well. And also slowly starting with the preparations for Milan again in April. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When I reached your press package, I've been impressed by these pieces, these works that you are presenting during PAM. And of course, you are one of the leading voices for design in Netherlands. And I'm absolutely delighted to have you on with me today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's start with this, can I say, collection that you brought to be displayed in at PAM. So it's you are well known to have this imprinting in conceptual design, but you are also a polyedric artist. You are a photographer, designer. So if you wanna just give your personal description of yourself, how do you feel to be?
Yeah, I think it's also a process because I studied interior design, product design in the Netherlands at the Art Academy. So I was always engaged with colleagues who were doing sculpting and other different areas of art, painting and everything. But I always wanted to do actually create things with my hands to start with. And I wanted to learn at that time something I could actually use to get a job in a way. So I studied interior design. But along the way, years pass by and your creativity widens in a way. And sometimes an applied art like a chair or a cabinet or a chandelier is not big enough to capture your creativity. So sometimes you have an idea that surpasses the function and think like, yeah, this is such a good idea. I want to make it. I want to build it without knowing if anybody needs it because it's art. It's not an object you can use. So I think the past 2 years, I'm slowly expanding this urge to create something that is beyond usable.
Yeah, so I saw that your main inspirations comes from art, different kind of arts.
Yeah, or in this case, it's a way of thinking in a way. It's the way artists think or look at things. For instance, I work a lot with objects that already exist. And most of these objects, they carry a certain something. It could be sentiment, it could be that they have a story behind it, or they have a certain something in it that carries something. It could be luck in a way, in case of the dice collection I made. It's like a lucky dice collection where I try to capture the luck to create a lucky object. So it's more the way you look at things that is similar to artists, I guess. And to call myself an artist or a designer, I'm something in between, probably. But the way of thinking is more like an artist, probably.
Let's rewind the process, okay?
Sure.
Just the process is you are looking at different objects that are around you, and exactly what you feel when you see something that can be forged by your creativity. So, which are the ringing bells that you have when you saw something?
Difficult question.
No, it's easy because it's also, for all the creative people, no, they recognize that the bells, bling,
Yeah, I think it's the moment. Yeah, your mind is always open. So I look at everything, and on a certain point, I see something which I think my imagination starts making hours, and I think, oh my God, this could be something, or this could be this, or this could be that, and all of a sudden you start thinking about, okay, how can I take this object and create, give it, I call it something extra. So it's not 1 + 1 is 2, but it becomes 3. So you get 1 + 1 is 3, and not every object can do that, and it has to have a certain concept behind it, because otherwise it's just cladding something to an object, and then it's that, and you have just a lot of the same things, and then you have an object that looks nice, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any substance. So yeah, there's so many things you can use, but some objects are more interesting than others, and that's the ones I look for. So for instance, I did a collection called Cherished, which the material all originates from personal collections of people. So sometimes people collect something for 40, sometimes 50, 60 years, for instance, matchboxes. And all these matchboxes, they come from all over the world, from every hotel or camping site in Italy, or from Singapore or China. And it ends up in a box in the attic, and nobody knows what to do with it. And they look at it and say, yeah, it's fantastic, but I don't know, it's just a box full of matchboxes.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, behind every box is a little story of someone who was in New York, brought it back from the Empire State Building or somewhere else, or Singapore, and brought it back for his neighbor. And the neighbor has been collecting this for 40 years. And it's such a shame, because there's so many stories behind it. And also the imagery brings you back to these places. So these kind of objects are more interesting than your average object. And that's the ones I look for, or try to create myself. Yeah.
So you were born in Belgium, and you grew up in Maastricht, and you received an education at the ArtEZ Academy and in Enschede. So you have backgrounds that saw you moving around Europe, okay? So, in the Netherlands. So how these places has helped you, different places, has helped you in enrich your creativity, and also your mood, okay, in your style, in as an artist, and in design, because we think that places could influences a lot the works, isn't
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, I think the most important period would be the one at the Art Academy. When I went to Enschede, I did 5 years of art study, and you get into this creative bubble in a way, because it's not a big city, it's relatively small, there's not so much to do, but the world around you is just the academy. So everybody around you is creating things, building things, painting, sculpting, and it's super, gives you so much energy that you also build a lot and make a lot and think a lot and talk a lot with others, which was for me the most inspiring period for sure. And then I moved to Rotterdam, which was in that time, because we're talking a long time ago actually again. So it was also a bit on the rough side still. It was still being developed. There were lots of spaces, old factory buildings where artists go in and try things. And so there was also space to make things. So so Rotterdam is also, as a city, very inspiring, especially also architectural wise. There's so much going on. It's a super interesting city still.
So since at least a decade, you are well known to have this kind of imprinting, and you are also known for the collections like the Cherished Collection, okay, and the recent conceptual art pieces that I would like you to describe for us.
Okay. Let me see. The latest one I presented is called Hot Air, in a way. And I think it's a translation. I don't know if you have it in Italy as well, but in Dutch we have, I try to do it in English, it's hard to explain, but if you're selling hot air, you're actually selling something that it doesn't exist. So
Okay. You know what we say? aria fritta. We say aria fritta,
Ah,
that is fried air.
air.
Nothing.
Exactly. Well, it's the same then, but then translated into English, it's hot air actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Now I have a new word to spend around.
Yeah, no, it's aria fritta, no?
No, aria, yeah, aria
Yeah, aria
fritta,
fritta.
but
Uh,
fried. We fried. Okay, this is
ah,
fried, and this is cooked.
yeah, exactly. Well, in Dutch, it's also fried,
Oh, okay.
like or baked actually, in a pan. Which so I have a sculpture which consists out of a pan where you make pancakes in, where you bake or
Okay.
fry your pancakes or make your steak,
Okay.
which is situated on a marble block that looks like a gas furnace in a way, a little furnace. And the air is actually captured in a glass, how do you call this? Like a capsule in a way that's on the art piece. So the pan is actually in the glass, capturing the air, the baked air or fried air or aria fritta. And because it's actually sold now as we speak at the fair in Amsterdam, as being sold as fried air, because art consists mostly sometimes you have a painting, which is the canvas, it's the paint, it's the hours of the painter, and the gallery has to make some money as well, and that determines sometimes the price, you think. But there's actually, especially with the expensive pieces, there is so much money, air in between, which we cannot grasp. You can't touch it, you can't explain it, and this is actually art. This is where what it's all about. It's this area where, what are we buying? Yeah, it's the fried air, it's the baked air. So that is actually what I'm selling at the fair at this moment in Amsterdam. Is actually literally the fried air, but an image.
But as a matter
Yeah.
of fact, what I see in you that your works are also aesthetically intriguing, and is not the sense of aesthetic is another factor that is tricky. Specific work like I saw the paintings wall cabinet. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's one. The first one I exhibited at Rosanna Orlandi in Milan 2 years ago, I think, the first one. And this is aesthetically beautiful because it's, when it's closed, it's quite neutral, but it has this color scheme of the back sides of the canvases. So you do not look at the paintings from the front, but you look at them from the back
Yeah.
side. And when you open them, you have this surprise of, depends how big the cabinet is, but sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 20 different oil paintings from different artists. So you have this surprise effect, and you can use it as a cabinet for glassware or drinks or all kinds of different things. And yeah, but I love it when it's closed, that it blends with the interior quite well. And when you open it, you really have a showpiece, which is nice. And my background is of course design. So when I'm going towards the artist pieces, I always have my baggage in a way of a designer. Also technically, it's all really well made and technically well balanced. So when it comes together, you have an art piece that is aesthetically nice and also is conceptual, have meaning.
Yeah. So I want to bring you little by little to the piece that I have on my background that it's easily to understand. That is a caffettiera, mocha, we call it here in Italy. And so I'm going to start with your experience and eventually influence that you grab and from Italy, Milano, something like that, and how little by little you built this Italian way imaginary. No, there is. I think there is a style. Each one of us bring a different style, and so I wanna know upon your thoughts which were the inputs you had participating to the Italian events and how you feel intrigued by that or not.
By Italy in itself and the relationship with Italy, you mean?
Yeah, it's how you before designing uh, Bialettini, no, the mocha, the
Yeah,
caffettiera.
yeah,
For
yeah.
sure, you have inside you something that reminds you, no, these big tradition we have.
Definitely. No, no. I can tell you about the idea behind the object, and maybe that
Mhm.
explains it a bit better. So for ages, men have immortalized people that have been of significance, like let's say Napoleon or a president, and you make them in bronze. You immortalize these persons for with the intention that they will last forever. And you put them in a square somewhere outside, or somebody in the family who's very important. You make a like a buste shape, and you make a bronze, and then it's forever. So it's a kind of an immortalizing people. But because I work with objects that are which I find fascinating, I started thinking, well, there's also objects which we have significant relationships with, and the Bialetti, the Mocha, especially for Italians, is almost a holy object in a way, and everybody or a lot of Italians have a certain relationship with this Mocha
Oh,
from
yes, I
childhood
have.
to
Yeah.
the end. So I thought maybe this is the ideal object as a part of it, that it's a beautiful object in a way. It's functional and it looks
Yeah, I
fantastic.
also think it's our first in our culture, our first design object we ever had. Yeah, I think it was one of the first.
One is that's super iconic, yeah,
Mm.
and beautiful. So I thought maybe I can immortalize it by turning it into a bronze object. So I wanted to make a bronze statue and immortalizing the Bialetti in bronze. So I make this object, and by making it lively, I turn it into a dancer, a female dancer. So it's called Bialettini. Yeah, and it's a small statue of kind of 40 centimeters high, which
Wow.
personalized the Bialetti Mocha, and forever, I hope.
No, you see, you forged together the iconic object with the Italian lifestyle ballerina. So you
Yeah,
put
yeah, it's super nice.
and
Yeah, and I can also tell you a bit about the process, because it's not
yeah,
bronze
please.
casted, but it's made with the. I do have some bronze elements in my work, which has to be casted. So I often go to the bronze caster, and I was there last year, and I discovered that they also weld pieces together with the bronze welding machine. And I thought, how does it work? He said, yeah, it's just like a different kind of like bronze wire coming out the welding machine, and you melt it together, the two pieces, and then you can sand it and polish it, and then you don't see it anymore. So I thought, oh, maybe I can use this welding machine, this wire, and just melt these drops on top of each other. So I actually drop
Oh,
all these bronze liquid drops on top of each other, and then I build up the piece. So I'm kind of sculpting with my welding machine, creating the object. And then at the end, I have to sand it and polish it and then everything. So it's actually made by hand, one by one, drop by drop, stacking the drops of bronze.
in fact, I wish I could have seen the sculpture physically, not only virtually. So, because it's absolutely fundamental to understand also the materials and the process, the work in progress, how you realized such a things. Because just from the picture, I can see that there is a lot of work that is not shaped just from a robot or a machine.
No,
This
it's
is
actually hand. Yeah,
handmade.
yeah, yeah,
Handmade
definitely.
is absolutely fantastic, I will say. And
Thank you
which
very much.
is your goal? How would you like to see this piece spread the word? So, which are the projects behind in terms of communication, and also in where you like to be this object you would like to see, where and how?
Well, I'm always in development. So this is the first object which I make with this technique. So for me, it's also an experiment.
Okay.
So now in Amsterdam, we're presenting this one, which is an edition of 3. And the first 2 are already sold. So there's only 2 left.
Oh,
so it depends.
you go
if
quick.
There's one left to go. Yeah. So it's good news. But I think I'm going to use the Bialettina or the Bialetti coffee mocha in another piece in the next one with the same technique, but a different statue. So it's going to be maybe even a bench, which you can actually use as well, like a design object, but with the Bialetti incorporated. But it's still an idea, so it depends. We have to see where it goes.
Okay, how do you see yourself and your profession in 10 years' time? Also, because there is the challenging, I don't know if this in some way bothers you, but the introduction of AI and this monumental, massive robots approach. How do you see yourself in your career? And are you worried? Are you go with it?
No, actually, maybe in the long term, I believe that maybe my work, or as you describe it, the pieces that are actually made by hand, and you can see that they're different from the other, that there's time in it, that there's a strong concept to it, is actually going to distinguish from the rest, which is computer programmed, looks the same, or so the works that distinguish themselves by being handmade or being made from, for instance, old matchboxes, you could never reproduce something like that. It's impossible with any computer. So I think maybe it's a good thing that I'm actually making things with material that already exists, which a computer could never do. So maybe it's also an opportunity for creating artists to, maybe step away from the whole technical, high-tech, AI-generated things, but actually make things with their hands again. And maybe in time it will distinguish itself between 2 different kinds of art in a way.
And next plans and project on the table?
Well, it's now I want to take it a little bit easy because there's a lot of fairs behind me now, like 3 really close to each other. And I have some, how do you call it, commissions from 2 companies, which I have to work on. But I think April is going to be Milan again, of course, the Salone del Mobile. And so I'm going to contact Rosanna Orlandi again to see if she's willing to take my work again for the 7th year now. So probably yes. But we still have to think about something really nice because I always create a special piece for her every year. So
okay, so let's see there in Milano during Milano Fashion Week, and I would love to I would love you to release your platform, web platform, where the people and the audience can see your works and your references. If you wanna leave it, your site. If you
sure,
where people can go and search and find you on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I don't know.
My name is Diederik Schneemann, which helps, but it's a difficult name. But if you Google a matchbox cabinet or Smurf vase,
they pop up. I know.
You can find me, and then so that's.
You are very viral. I checked this out, and yes, as a leading voice in design here nowadays in Netherlands. Yeah, thank you very much. It has been really interesting, and
thank you for having me.
And I really hope to see you in Salone del Mobile. And meanwhile, when it's over, the 9th of November, PAM is closing doors.
Yeah, so it's only this week, and then Sunday it's the last day.
So good luck, but you already sold everything.
Not everything, but a few pieces, yes, which is nice. Yeah.
Which is nice because we are only the 4th, so you have time. Okay.
Definitely.
So,
thank you, guys.
It has been a pleasure to have with me on Diederik Schneemann. Sorry for the pronunciation.
No worries.
And keep on staying tuned. This is Simona Cochi, and this is The Italian Way with the Bialettina.
Exactly.
Let's grab a coffee together.
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.